Hey guys, welcome to Mexican Growing Pains.
This is JC.
This is MC.
And we're here together talking. We're going to start this new podcast trying to get relationships, create relationships, right? Grow together. More importantly, there has been a lot of people looking for help right now. And so as Latinos, right? And
that's right.
Growing in a big family.
Very big.
We just want to be out there as a resource and share stories and see how we can kind of
connect with you guys. Just, going through things that you've gone through, we've gone through. Just want to make sure that, we share our stories and just be relatable to what maybe you've gone through and, help each other out in that way. Because, we're all constantly growing. No one ever finishes.
Every day.
Every day's a battle. You don't just become happy. You have to work at it. Everything's had to be worked on every day.
For sure. So we'll start off with where we're at right now, stripping away the titles, not our job, not being a sister, being a daughter, nothing like that, just who I am, right? Just me personally. And in this part of my life, I think, just to connect with you, I would say I'm an introvert and an extrovert. I think I find a little bit more joy like being by myself sometimes. I used to be in the chapter of being an extrovert, but I think I can kind of do partial now. What do you think?
Yeah.
I enjoy my alone time, I think.
I'm a little different. I feel like I'm more... I love being around people. I like making people laugh, so that's why I kind of like being the center of attention sometimes. But it is quite difficult, believe it or not. People think it's easy, and it's not. I like to be funny. I like to dance, but people don't understand that it is hard for me sometimes because it's embarrassing. It's difficult when people don't see that. They're like, no, you. And it's really the people around me. When I surround myself with happy people, I feel even more willing to do whatever, act whatever, because it makes me feel good. And of course, when I'm in a situation where it's maybe a little bit more people I don't know, I'll be a little bit more shyish, and people might not believe that, but I do.
Yeah. So dance, fun. So a little bit about, I think, us together. I am Latina, right? We're Latina?
Yeah, Latina, Hispanic, okay. Chicano.
Mexican.
Okay,
because there's all different forms of Spanish.
Yeah.
So, or Mexican.
Yeah.
So
Latin.
Yeah. So at this point, what is your kind of music that you like?
I'm more of a, reggaeton kind of guy. Not so much as the words. I know some of the, Bad Bunny, you can't really understand them and stuff, but but the thing is, to me, it's really anything that I can dance to. I love moving. I love beats. So, I can pretty much, anything that's got a beat to it, I love it. Anything. So.
Yeah. I think right now I'm not even listening to much music, actually. I'm listening to more podcasts. I'm listening to seminars. I think I'm in that part of my life where I'm growing because I am going through the struggles of the modern world. And for the past, I think 2 years, I found it hard to be a millennial. A Spanish Hispanic millennial, and but that's and I'm seeing it too in my kids as I'm raising them, and so I wanted to help out. I wanted to get resources and grow with you all to see how we can improve ourselves because we can't teach what we don't know, and so I learned a lot, and I want to share that back with everybody. I think when I fell, I went more spiritual. And I kind of found God, and I held on to him tight that way. And I believe I grew. And then you're more of a realist.
Yeah, I'm more of a realist. I definitely have found God in the last couple of years more, even though I'm Christian. My wife is actually Catholic, and but I've learned so much in the last couple of years. I just look at things more as a realist type of person, though. Of course, need God in my life, definitely. But I have found myself this last year, like looking at a lot of like podcasts and positive, Instagram and different stuff. And sometimes I don't know, I see some of these postings that they sometimes post and they talk about like all this stuff, like if you want to be this and you want to be that and stuff that makes sense, but sometimes we don't know how to achieve those things. Like we just know that, oh yeah, don't be around negative people. But if your family's negative, how the hell do I get out of the house? It's like they tell you all these things of how, all these positive affirmations and stuff like that are out there on Instagram, TikTok and everything. And you hear that voice come out. It's like, you can be like this. And if you do this, and these are the 10 reasons you're not successful and stuff. And it's like, but they don't really tell you like how to achieve these things. They don't really share anything. They're just messages that, bombard you, and you're like, man, and sometimes those positive things can be even more frustrating than the reality of your life because you don't understand it.
I agree. When I went looking for it, I was confused because it's not a cookie cutter thing. I really understood that what I do like as a hobby, it really changes everything, my dynamic with how I think, how I act, how I react with everything. And so that's a big one. What do you do for hobbies?
Honestly, it's like, I just been working so much lately. I don't have a chance to, but honestly, for me, my hobby was, working out. Yeah. Is that a hobby?
No,
I don't think it's a hobby. It's just, it's an unwinding situation. It is. But for me, like I said, my hobby, like I like working out. It just, you're concentrating. You got one goal for an hour to do something and listen to somebody. And the workouts that I did was group workouts where, you had an instructor that told you what to do. So less thinking, more doing, so.
Your workouts, do you like the drill sergeant workout? Or do you like
definitely. I definitely like the drill sergeant. I'm not a type of guy that, that works well by themselves in that type of scenario. I just find myself not being able to challenge myself. That's what it is for me. When I see other people, then I kind of be like, okay, I don't want to be the slowest in the class, but I got to be somewhere in between. So I set my standards, be like, okay, I got to come up like, all right, hey man, this person did this many push-ups, and it's like, okay, but he's a big guy like me. Okay, maybe I could do a little bit more, So I push myself to certain levels, and I use what I see to guide myself what it is, because sometimes, not all of us are very determined. If we were, then we wouldn't be in the situations that we're in.
Yeah. Do you do like the bicycling thing, or do you like have a trainer?
No, it's the class that I do, it's called a HIIT training, high intensity interval training, which is basically doing repetitions in certain stations for about anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute and a half, and then you're repeating the same action and moving on to another station and then going back and forth. So you're working one day upper body, lower body, mid body, so you're trying to balance it all.
It's like a private gym kind of deal, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, see, no, I can never do the gyms. You won't find me ever in a gym. If you find me in a gym, there's something wrong. Well, someone actually might have dragged me there because I don't like touching people's sweatiness, So I'd rather do hiking, going to the beach, walking, mainly hiking though.
I guess you got to ask yourself what your goals are in those cases.
What is your goal?
Because a lot of people are like, I walk, and it's like, yeah, okay, well, hey, it's better than sitting for 5 hours, sure. Yeah. So, a lot of people, we lie to ourselves about what we do and stuff. And
are you saying I'm lying to myself?
No, I'm not saying you're lying to yourself. I don't know what your purpose is.
Sometimes we lie to ourselves.
I didn't ask your purpose. Okay. See, that's why I didn't ask, because I don't want to know, because then I'll be like, you're lying. But the thing is that,
it's cardio, okay? It helps. Any little movement helps.
Okay, well, see, when people say cardio, walking, are we talking about raising your heart rate? Because that doesn't raise your heart rate. Now, if you're talking about blood flow, so that's what I'm saying. You're lying to yourself if you think that's cardio. Walking's not cardio.
What is it?
Anything that's going to raise...
incline.
No, it doesn't matter. The point is this, because if you're a heavy guy, walking could be cardio, because you're taking a couple steps. After about a mile, you're like, your heart beats rate. So that's what it is. The goal is whatever raises your heart rate, it would be cardio, because you're raising your heart rate to a certain level. Mm-hmm. But if you're already, you don't feel like, I don't see you struggling walking, then it's not really cardio. So...
I beg to differ, but it's okay. It's okay. So how about as far as, so that's that, right? And that helped me actually grow, right? And get a good mindset. How about how early do you wake up? And do you think that affects your day?
Yeah, you know what? It does. I when I was going to the gym and like waking up and doing the gym before work, I definitely felt a little bit better about myself. So it's hard to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym at 6 to be able to go to work by 7, 8. And but you know what? It is. I felt like I was a lot in a better place mentally, a better place physically. It was, I think it is good because I struggle to wake up. If I don't have to go somewhere, I'm take a shower at night, and then when I'm like jumping out of my bed and right into my clothes and running.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm always really cutting it close on my waking up.
Yeah, it's been a minute now that we have actually, my husband and I have been waking up like at 5:30 latest. We've been reading together, and then we go out for a walk. We take the dog out, and that little moment that we've had together, I think it's been helping. It's been very helpful to just start my day off positive and right. And sometimes I don't want to, sometimes I want to, but once I'm out and it's like past 7:00, I'm like, all right, I feel accomplished. I feel good. And I notice I smile a lot more. So that, I think, is a big help.
I did start trying to wake up and at least go to the living room just to kind of meditate, but I found myself falling asleep. So it didn't really work, even though I would go to the living room and say, okay, I'm going to meditate and stuff. And the next thing you know, I'm passing out and stuff and waking up.
It's a guy thing, dude. That's such a guy thing.
So I don't know. It didn't work really good for me. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, but that's stripping away the titles for me. I like I said, I had to learn to do a lot of change in me, and it's been helpful. So if whatever you're doing right now isn't working for you, you're still kind of feeling a certain way about things, I think it would help to change something, and try some other way. And challenge yourself, because I do believe we're energy. I mean, right? We are energy. You can go into a room and you can feel energy, and it can set the rest of the tone, I think, for a lot of people. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think a lot of people are perceptive to that because they just don't know how. They don't understand it sometimes, but we are, it's just simple as, they always say, walk by someone and just smile. And normally you'll smile back. You feel.
Fake it until you make it?
No, I'm saying smile like someone that's not, you're just walking on the street. You can just look at someone and just be like, hey, and just smile at them, and just random person. Yeah. And that, that would trigger something in someone. The feeling is like, whoa, like, knock you into a good place sometimes. And that's that could be considered energy, just someone's positively, or just you see someone, or I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but you're sometimes somewhere and you're just looking at someone, just, I don't know, maybe they're in line ordering and you're like, man, this person looks like they're just having a good time. They're just like maybe listening to something or whatever. And it's like, you're like, man, that person doesn't look like they have a care in the world, or it's like sometimes so it's like you feel this stuff like, wow, or going to your favorite coffee place or something, and that person has really good energy and stuff, and which sometimes some places mostly do, and there's
not all places,
that's what some
not all
I know,
places.
I'm not saying no.
And I think that's why we need to talk to each other, because I've gone to places recently where you're like in the customer service area and you shouldn't even be there. Yeah. Okay. Because you're like, you're sad.
No, but I'm saying, I'm just saying, I don't go to a lot of coffee places. I guess I can't say, but I would just figure that people are, you're somewhere at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, you get coffee. I'm hoping the guys or girls nice, or a little chipper, already got some caffeine or something. I don't know. I would figure. Yeah, something going on. But I've seen some pretty cool people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But if you're not happy in your job, let me tell you, first of all, you need to find yourself, find a purpose. You shouldn't be there. Okay, you're maybe you're not understanding that you're also reflecting that you're just not happy, and we see it, trust me.
See, we say that all the time. This is another saying. It's like, if you're not happy where you're at, you shouldn't be there. It's like, it's still a lot easier said than done. A lot of people are stuck in situations they don't want to be in, and they don't know how to get out. That's the problem. You can't, I'm just, it's like, look, this is one thing about me. It's like, I've always said, I'd never want to work fast food. Oh my God, I would die if I worked fast food.
Right.
But it has nothing to do with the fact that I think fast food is beneath me. Right. It doesn't. It doesn't. Mm-hmm. It just because I didn't want to feel like I feel like maybe I would get stuck somewhere. That's because it could be fun. It could be cool. Like I thought I would think it's cool to the year, but as I grew up, I said, I don't want to be in a fast food place because I feel like I might get stuck there, and that's why I said it. Not because whatever it is, but if it got to a point where in my marriage, when I got married young, I literally was like, I applied and I got this job as a Jack in the Box manager. I remember, and I told my wife, I was like, man, they're offering me this job. And I was like, I don't want to go there.
Tell him no.
Tell him no. Tell him, I'm going to tell him. My wife said I can't work here. And I was like, I didn't want to do it. I can't do it, dang it. And I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to get stuck somewhere because as fun as it would seem, I felt like I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So luckily she's like, keep trying. And I still went to other places that weren't the best for me either. Worked at SeaWorld, worked at, different places. But the thing is that you just don't want to get stuck somewhere. And I didn't want to get stuck at a job like that.
I don't know, though. I've worked at fast foods.
Yeah.
I've worked many jobs. And I don't know. I always found joy in what I was doing. Always. I found something to be happy about. Always. And especially working fast food, let me tell you, I hated a lot of, customer feedback, and I hated smelling like oil and grease, but I like the check, and I like, my associates and everything. So I don't know. I found
why did you leave?
Happy.
Why did you leave?
Well, because you always want what's next. You always want to top what you're doing.
I know, and you see some people that don't. They just stay there, and they're like, "You've been working."
Well, that's why we get
10
stuck.
years.
That's why we get stuck. And that's why I'm saying we need to unstick ourselves, and we need to kind of give each other the keys as to how to do that. I think that's what this would be really, really helpful for.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
just growth.
And, I don't think I know everything, but I know that everything starts in the mind, and it was hard to get there because I was really hard-headed.
Where?
Oh, I'm a work in progress,
okay,
damn it.
I'm just asking.
You're a guy. First of all, we're emotional, so I think women change a lot easier than men.
Yeah.
Men, you guys are just stubborn, and you guys, it's hard to change.
You change in an instant. I get that. Yeah. I mean, emotional changes, exactly. We're very,
You do. But, no, but just remember that we do create an energy in everything that we do. Why do you think yoga's around? Yoga's hot right now. Because they're understanding that meditation is needed, that centering of your mind is needed, and be careful because that stuff is spiritual too, know.
Yeah, and I've had friends that I've had a friend that made fun of it. It was like, "Oh, you're stretching this and that," but he was like, "Telling me what that is not easy stuff,"
Yeah.
But I think it is important. I mean, I stretch not as much as I should, but I will tell you that a lot of people, because I like to dance and I like to, get down a little bit. They ask me, "How do you do it?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's stretching."
How do you dance? Do you dance like this?
No, I don't lean like this. I got the head. So, anyways, but yeah, it's one of those things that what's helped me a lot is stretching. Stretching has helped me a lot. And I have a friend of mine who's a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger than me. Well, he looks bigger than me because he's smaller, and he plays rugby, and he's in his 40s. And I'm like, dude, how do you do it, man? How do you play rugby and not? I mean, you're 40. I'm not saying, it's like you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
And he says, look, I'm on the field at least an hour to 2 hours stretching. Yeah. And you don't understand. He goes, these young kids will come out and they'll be pulling muscles and this and that and get hit. And the truth is, he goes, the reason I don't get as hurt as I do is because I stretch. And that's the truth. And I've talked to other athletes that, I should have stretched. Everyone says the same thing.
You should stretch too.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, my girl went hiking with me once. She said, you should stretch. I was like, I don't really stretch. Shout out to my girl for telling me to stretch because I stretch now.
Yeah, it's true. I've done Spartan races and stuff like that, and you have to stretch. I don't care what you think, whatever you want to think. With the day that you're like, oh dang, it's like that's the day you're like, dang, I should have stretched.
Dude, as you get older, it sucks to get hurt.
I'm lucky. I haven't really gotten hurt, so.
Yeah. So culture. Growing up Mexican. How was that? Where are you in the line, in the lineup?
I don't feel, with my mom being a single mom in a sense and having a stepdad, we didn't really, I don't feel like we grew up as culturally as I think we would because I've seen other families now and like they're really cultured. Like we didn't have we weren't always eating pozole, menudo. So when I got married and stuff, it was like, man, this is some good stuff. Like we didn't do it as often as, when I was younger.
What did you eat?
My mom was more American foods, I guess. I mean,
Like burgers?
yeah, a lot of picadillos, a lot of sopas, the basic ones and stuff, caldo de pollo,
Mascado?
enchiladas. Those were my favorite. Enchiladas were my favorite until I met enchiladas suizas. And that changed my life. I was like, man, where you been all my life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, so I feel like it was a lot of basic stuff. It was a little different. And then when I was in my teenage years, I moved to live with my father, and that was very interesting.
Very interesting. Well, we'll dive into that soon. Because I'm third. I've got the middle child syndrome, the black sheep. It is true. It's very true because the first one is they get a lot of the rules, and you need to be a certain way, right, to uphold everything while the grown-ups are gone. But the third child is, I don't know, we get left behind somewhere. It's like, where's the third child? I don't know, but she's all right because I just saw her like a couple hours ago, and she's not bleeding, so she's all right. But it wasn't easy, but it did teach me a lot. I was quiet, and that's another thing too. I think you're born confident until your parents kind of mold you to not be confident. And I think we should touch on that a lot in the later episodes because our past does haunt us, but we do have to get over it, right? We can't stay victims of our circumstance because we are able to change it and grow things. And that's one thing about being Mexican. One thing I love about that is the plantas. All the plants that your grandma teaches you or your mom teaches you how to, grow and tend to and stuff. It teaches you that every seed has to grow, and we have to grow. Because if you're fruitless, I mean, we'll take you out, right? A la basura. But we got to grow. We got to grow, and we got to grow past that. And right now that our new generation is coming up, we got to teach them how to do that because, this handing them the phone and telling them to be kids with such an adult thing, I think is changing us a lot.
Okay, well, what I could say to that is yes.
There's a lot in there.
There's a lot in there.
What part are you going to say?
Well, I guess to the part, like, I didn't understand the whole plant thing at first, but then I think, okay, you know what? There's more to life is what you're trying to say, right?
Oh, there's more to life, but we got to be fruitful too.
Well, I mean, I think it's important to, to teach your children about, planting and stuff like that. I think it's important just to realize how nature is, more nature into our lives is what you're saying. Basically, it's not just all digital.
Well, yeah, more planting, sure.
I mean, because every culture has, if you're Japanese, if you're Chinese, if you're, they all have their own certain types of plants and certain types of fruits that they like and herbs that they like and stuff. So
yeah,
it's every culture has some kind of plant that they're every culture has.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm talking about plant is growing is that we can't stay hurt, because our parents. So I know that like
metaphor.
Yeah, as a metaphor, big time. Like as a kid growing up, I know that when we would go together as families, like there'd be a lot of drinking and stuff. Hey, mija, agárrame una cerveza, and there you go. You're going, and what's wrong with that,
Yeah.
But now, would I do that to my kid? No, but I also do know that I put my kid in a big bubble. I put him in a bubble. Is that bubble good? Yeah. Is it protecting him? Yeah. I think a little too much. Yeah.
I just think with that said, I just really think that there's you just can't treat every kid the same.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the thing. Maybe there could be a kid that you say, hey, grab me a beer and you're okay with. But then this younger kid or whatever, even if he's at that same age, give me a beer. And it's like, whoa, no, you say beer's bad or something. It's like their mindset might be different, because mindsets develop different. And of course, if it's a male or if it's a female, they take things certain ways. So exposing your child to certain things, even you drinking sometimes can be a bad thing or good thing. I mean, an okay thing it just depends. It's like a lot of people say it's about teaching, responsibility, but you can't expose your kids. Let's be honest. We can't expose our kids to smoking a little bit, drinking a little bit, and expect them to be responsible when you've made it feel comfortable for them. So that's the one thing that people don't understand. I like a lot of people say, I'm going to have my child grow up and, if he wants to smoke, it's okay with me. But you can introduce him to that at a young age and make it comfortable for them to even make that choice. Yeah. So you're kind of fooling yourself if you're doing that. Doesn't make sense.
No. Okay, well, how about fishing? Fishing and taking beer on the boat.
Again.
Not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's a bonding thing.
It's a certain age and a certain. I feel like exposing kids, and it's easier said than done. I can't speak myself. Unfortunately, I'm not a parent. I haven't been a parent, but all I could say is it's easier said than done.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's, like I said, a lot of things that we need to talk about. And as we get more and more followers, hopefully we get more and more conversation about things to touch on, because there's a lot of little things like that need to get kind of opened up so we can heal and grow past it. Because there's always value in everything. There's value in everything. But this Christmas, how is it looking for you? What's some of the traditions that you're going to do, or some of the things you guys are going to do?
I don't know.
You don't know? You're not going to go visit family?
This year, I don't know. This year's Christmas is like...
How about some of the plates you're going to be eating?
Yeah, food. It's no more turkey. I don't want no more turkey.
You don't want more turkey?
I don't want more turkey. Dang it. Keep telling my wife, no turkey, please. But, I don't know. If there's turkey pozole, then I'm down for some turkey pozole. That's really
tamales.
Tamale.
Champurrado.
Oh, man, yeah. That's
what are some of the Mexican plates? There's a lot of Mexican plates.
Man, you got some mole.
Yeah,
mole is some good stuff. Like, you know what? That's another thing. It's like I never really grew up when I was younger understanding that so many different types of moles, and then some aren't even moles. It's like a mole, but it's not. This is pipián. It's like people are going to be like, what the heck is that?
What's pipián?
See,
I don't even know what pipián is.
You don't even know what pipián is? But people say it's more, like people think it's mole, but it's pipián. It's different. Even though it's sold in the same damn jar and it looks the same like Doña Maria right there, but it's not.
I never had pipián. Is it the green stuff?
No.
Oh.
No, but it says pipián. It says mole, and then one says pipián. What's the difference? I have no clue, but it makes it. You make it just like mole. I mean, you make it like mole. So.
And how about, so do you speak Spanish?
Oh, yeah.
A lot?
A lot better than I used to. Yeah, definitely.
I'm really pocha.
Yeah,
I'm really pocha. Every time when I was little, I'm telling you, my dad would be, habla en español. No!
Yeah.
I'm American. And now, you know what? Now I'm noticing that as I'm getting older, I want to dive into my roots a lot more. I think I'm very proud to be Mexican. Is it Mexican American?
Yeah.
Mexican, or is it American Mexican?
Mexican. Well, you are first.
Ándale.
Technically.
And
yeah. And it's just based on that. What's funny was I was in the line the other day in the border, and I was listening to these kids, this little girl and little boy. They were talking in French, like they were making French because I guess they're learning that in school. And I was like, oh, that's really cool that you guys are learning French. And these kids had to be like maybe 8 and 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was telling them, I said, hey, but one thing you got to remember, don't lose your Spanish. I go, because you could tell they were Mexican. I said, don't lose your Spanish. I can tell you from my experience, my grandmother, even though she worked here, could not talk to her in English. I'm like, you work here. It's not like you say, I don't understand, but you work here. How do you not understand?
Yeah.
And what was funny was the mom was like, Bess, like she was telling the kids, you see, you got to listen. All they want to do is speak English around the house. And I'm like, man, if I can tell you anything, please listen to me. Don't lose it. Why? Yeah. Because I took it for granted. When I was a kid, I spoke it very well. And I realized when I was in my teenage years and I was like, I'm American and I want to speak English. Man, when I got to be like 18, 19 and, met my wife, I was like, I was bad. I realized it because I was like trying to make Spanish was like, man, and I'm still recuperating from that. It's like, it's still, to make sentences and everything in conversation, it's not that simple. So that's one thing I regret, not practicing it more. Keep practicing it while I was younger, because you can lose it. And once you lose it.
Shamefully, I've done the same thing. I've done the same thing. My kids, No, nothing in Spanish. So let us know. Where are you? Did you teach your kids Spanish? Are you continuing that? Like whatever idioma you speak. How do you say idioma? Whatever language you speak. Do you teach them? You know, don't go cold with them because it's so important. You don't want to be like us.
Wait. I'm pretty good, all right?
No. I think I speak better than you, actually.
Oh, you.
I do.
No, there's no.
I do.
Tú tienes. No puedes hablar como yo. Tú no tienes.
You don't even sound Mexican.
Ay, tú eres muy mexicana. Let's sing the national anthem in Spanish.
Oh, well, first of all.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra. Yeah, exactly. That's
all I know.
You're not even supposed to do that. You see, you don't even know how to do it. All right. Well, you guys let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think. And, just remember, you can never forget where you came from.
Yeah. Roots are important.
Yes, roots are very important.
All right. Let us know.
And remember,
there's no growth
without pain.
There you go.
I like it.
All right, guys.
¿Quién tiene el micrófono? Me or you?
El micrófono. What the heck? Remember,
there's no growth without pain. Y no se olviden.
Y no te olvides.